Hi, everybody. We are live. I'm going to give everybody a chance to join in before I flip the phone around and get started. Hello and welcome. We're just going to take a few minutes. Patty, Kate, my homegirls are joining. We're just going to take a few minutes. Let everybody get on. Howdy, guys. Hi, hi, hi. Aunt Sybil. Hello, Aunt Sybil. Hello, BK Bernard, Patty, CF Christine. All right, I don't know who a lot of you are, so, because I don't know, like, all your handles and stuff, so. Can you guys hear the music? All right, give me some hearts, guys. Hi, Miss Sylvia. Woohoo! Is it too loud, Patty? I'm over here jamming. Sweet. All right, everybody clap. Hi, Miss Jen. Welcome. Whoops. We're just gonna give just like maybe 30 more seconds for other people to join in before I get started. If you guys want to invite people, swipe left to right if you're on an iPhone. Yo, that's right, Shima. And then if you're on an Android, I believe you swipe from the top going down. So you can invite people, you can invite your followers, or you can invite folks from Facebook. So I was actually going to start this Periscope out with the song Feelings by, I think Barbara Streisand sings it, but that made me want to stick a Tabasco-coated ice pick through my eye, so I decided to go with this song instead. Right? Boring is right, yes. And plus, I don't have an ice pick, so there was that whole thing. All right, guys, I'm going to flip this around. Oh, yay, I did it. Can you guys see me and hear me? Can you see me and hear me? All right, we're going to have fun tonight. Let me push this back. Wait, 10-4. Yes, yes, yes. All right, super. Let me turn off the Will Ferrell tunage. I'll turn music back on a little bit later because this is going to be an interactive scope. And oh, sorry about that, guys. I ate oatmeal for the first time in 30 days, and I woke up feeling and looking like I was about 5 months pregnant after looking quite svelte from doing Whole30. Hey, ladies. Howdy. Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for the... Ooh, here's chocolate hearts. Someone has chocolate hearts. Love the chocolate hearts. Hello, Miss Jill. All right, well, I think this is pretty much everybody. I don't want to like wait forever. Boo, it's not you. No, Miss Patty, you're a pretty fuchsia. Thank you, Miss Donna. You're pretty green. Donna's got green hearts. I'll have to pay attention to see who's got the chocolate hearts. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get started with a little bit of housekeeping, and maybe some other people will join in. And if not, then we're just going to have fun without everybody else. All right, so let's see here. Yes, guys, you have mustard. Miss Kate, it actually kind of looks kind of like wheat, like peanut butter. I'm so jealous that you're the chocolate hearts. Actually, the purple are my favorite. All right, so if you guys want, feel free to, yes, baby poop. Feel free to go diffuse some relaxing oils. Definitely grab a pen and paper. And because you're probably going to want to take some notes, and I'll do my best to not move too quickly, and I will also do my best to, if you like ask questions or ask me to repeat something, I'll do my best to keep an eye on the screen so that I can catch things. But unfortunately, this is a lot of information, and it's deep. And although it's something that I've been researching off and on for a good year to 18 months, it's not something that I have completely memorized, and so I've gotten notes. So I apologize if I have to kind of look down from time to time, but I want to make sure that I stay on task and on point and that I don't miss anything. and also that I don't mispronounce any really big words. All right, so let's see here. A few housekeeping points before we get started. I'm Christine Cucharella, also known as the Oily Crusader. I'm an executive leader with Young Living Essential Oils. And I stated this earlier, but for the few people that popped on prior to my, after I said this, if you're on an iPhone, if you want to invite people, like your followers or anybody on Facebook, like friends and family, whatever, go ahead. If you're on an iPhone, swipe left to right, and then invite people however you feel the need to invite them. And if you're on an Android, you're gonna go ahead and swipe from top on down, and then you can invite people that way. So go ahead and feel free to share the love. If you can think of anybody that might be interested in this information, that would be great. Let's see, internet connection. Sometimes with Periscope, it's hideous. It's awful. If I freeze or I'm breaking up or whatever, and it looks like it's on my end, I will restart the scope with the same title, but I will put take 2 after it. If it's not me, it's you, so log out and log back in. And I apologize for that, but what you gonna do? All right, let's see, hearts. Can you guys see that? I love hearts. Like, I love them. How do you give me hearts? Most of you know this. You tap the screen. There we go. You tap, tap, tap your screen. When you tap the screen, I know that I'm saying things you want to hear. And yes, I actually expect people to take notes, interact, and tap the screen. And give me hearts. Yes, I'm a little high maintenance that way. It helps with my insecurities to know that you love me. Let's see, if you're watching this on replay, this originally was a live Periscope video, and I am chatting with people while doing this Periscope. You're not going to be able to see the comments, but trust me, they're there. I'm not entirely crazy, only mostly crazy, but not certifiable or anything like that. When I ask for info from you guys, because remember, I said this is going to be interactive, sometimes when you answer, like all the answers like come up on the screen really super fast and then they fade quite quickly. So if I don't see something and you keep trying to make a point, just be patient with me and I'll do my best to get to all the questions and the comments as quickly as I possibly can. And then for the purposes of this class, guys, I am only going to be referring to Young Living Essential Oils. And my favorite part of every single class that I do is my disclaimer. I am not a doctor, and I am not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I don't even play one of those on TV. I am not here to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease, ailment, or illness, real or imagined. I am here to just share information that I have researched to empower you to want to do a little research of your own and figure out if this is something that you might possibly find that works for you. Do not try this at home with a grocery store brand of essential oils. If you're going to be working on a therapeutic level, then use something of therapeutic quality versus a perfume quality. Just don't even try to release emotions with something fake. Just please don't. If the educational, enlightening, empowering info I've shared with you this evening has you wanting to learn more about the incredible benefits of essential oils and how to use them every day, please get with the person that invited you to this class as soon as this class is over. Okay, so follow up with them. And I don't know, if you have a tinfoil hat or maybe some fun hippie clothing, break that out because we are going off the grid tonight, my friends. We're off the grid and it's going to be interesting. I'm not even kidding. So I went ahead and made myself a tinfoil hat. Isn't that awesome? This is like, you know, when you go to the Dairy Queen and you get one of those ice cream cones that has like the curly Q on top. Yeah, I promise I'm stable. Really, I'm emotionally. Isn't that though? Shimma. All right, so I'm teasing about that, but we got to have fun, right? All right, so like I said, guys, we're kind of going off the grid a little deep tonight. I kind of almost thought about introducing myself as Sister Luna Kumbaya because we're digging into emotions and we're gonna get a little touchy feely and we're gonna kind of dive into energies and things like that. And some people get a little weirded out about that, but not me, because God created us for constant well-being. He wants us to be well all the time, and emotions, essential oils, the brain, and the level of well-being that God created us for, and showing people how to achieve and maintain that well-being is what drives me to research and share what I love on a variety of subjects. So the desire in my heart that's been given to me by God is what directs me to the long list of interesting, varied, and sometimes out there topics that others may shy away from in fear of falling into something evil or new age, but not me. That's right. I'm a crusader. I just want to say, guys, we're fearfully and we're wonderfully made. And God made our energy pathways and those meridians that we call chakras. He made our emotions. He made our bodies and our minds and our souls. We are bodies with a spirit and soul. So let's learn all we can on ways to balance that body, mind, and soul. You guys ready? I'm coming along with you, so don't be afraid. All right, so my sources for this Periscope are personal experience, also known as anecdotal evidence, which holds absolutely no weight among scientific community, but I don't care. Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils by Dr. Carolyn Mean. You see that book? Oh, nice glare. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, this book. And Healing Oils of the Bible by Dr. David Stewart, PhD. And believe it or not, Disney's Pixar movie Inside Out. Have you guys seen that? Give me hearts if you have. Because those folks did their homework when they wrote that movie, totally, when they wrote the script for that. Dr. Caroline Leaf, you can find her on Facebook under Dr. Caroline, Caroline Leaf. And then also Norman Cousins of the Norman Cousins Center for Psychoneuroimmunology. Yeah, I'll cover that one in a little bit. So those are my sources for this class, and I'm ready to get going. So emotions are like the ocean. Well, like the ocean waves. They ebb and they flow, and they're powerful, and they provide momentum that is supposed to initiate action. Most of us are aware of the negative side of emotions, but very few of us are aware of the positive or the other side of emotion. I was really surprised when I was reading the book by Dr. Carolyn Mean, this one right here, that I did not know the positive or other side of most of the emotions that she listed. I was actually really clueless, and I was surprised. Like, the only one that I really knew offhand was I knew the positive or the other side of sadness was happiness. But other ones, I'm just like, I have no idea. So thank the good Lord for this woman, because she did all the homework for us. One thing that she states in the book is that anything that has a negative polarity also has a positive one. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I'm going to set this stage for you guys for getting you to open your minds into the subject of vibrations, electrical charges, polarity, and energy. Now, if you've gone to any of our previous essential oil classes that myself, Patty Klump, Kate Notaro, Lisa Keller, Mary Alexander, trying to think anybody else, or myself has taught, you have heard us talk about, usually just briefly, but you've heard us talk about chakras or vibration and how everything has a vibration, including essential oils. It's measured in megahertz. Okay, so here's some things that I kind of want you guys to consider as I'm trying to kind of make my point about everything having energy. All right, so here's a question. Have you guys ever met someone and just felt off around them? Like you were unsettled, something wasn't right? Did you ever shake someone's hand or hug someone and feel different afterwards, whether good or bad? Did you get a sense about things, situations, or people in your gut? Have you ever been in the presence of someone and immediately felt unsafe or nervous or calm and at peace? When someone compliments you, do you feel a positive feeling or emotion? When someone you know is disappointed in you or says something negative or disparaging or hurtful, do you experience a lowering of your energy? Do you feel beat down? These are all examples of vibrations, electrical charges, and energy. We are energetic beings. Energy travels through us. Everything has a vibration and a warm, fuzzy feeling. Everything has a vibration, which is why you get a creepy sense about some people and a warm, fuzzy feeling about others. I'm actually going to give you an example since Kate Notaro is on here. When I am in the presence of Kate Notaro, she has such an energy about her that I feel like I'm in a day spa. The woman just exudes peace and calming and just mellow. I just absolutely love being in the presence of Kate Notaro. And hopefully some of you guys who have not had a chance to meet her will get to meet her at convention. Ah, you're so sweet. So yeah, so I just wanted to, no, I mean that. I mean, it's just like the first time I met you, it was like, whoosh. It is impossible to be stressed out when you're in the presence of Kate Notaro. See, she's just got that energy about her. Energy also, believe it or not, is affected by the things that you eat, your words, your emotions, your experiences, people. Those things can energize you and make you feel alive, or they can drain you, make you ill or depress you, or make you want to crawl into a warm bed and never emerge. It's all energy. So let's find out ways that we can use that energy to our benefit. Okay. Like I mentioned, thoughts and words carry electrical vibrational charges. Your thoughts become your words, become your reality, become your dis-ease. It's all connected. And Mary has said this in classes, and I know that when Patty first did this emotional class on Facebook a few months ago, she said the same thing. It is all connected. What's in your mind gets into your body, and I'm going to cover that a little bit as we go further. Dr. Caroline Leaf states that if you randomly allow any negative thought into your mind, damage can ensue. I typed ensure, can ensue on a mental and physical level. She also states that we're not helpless machines nor prisoners of our biology. Our minds change our brains through intentional thought. And I am going to teach you guys some new intentional ways of thinking tonight. So let's transform our negative emotions and change our brains, our body, and improve our health. All right, so there are 3 ways to deal with emotions. All right, the first is that you can express it, and that doesn't always work, nor is it always socially acceptable. The second is that you can internalize it, which is actually what a lot of people do. Oh, and I forgot to show you if you guys see trolls, don't feed them, just block them. I made little fun cards and I forgot to show that. So if you see trolls, just ignore them and block them. Okay, so you can express your emotions, or you can internalize your emotions, or you can transmute. How's that for a big word? Transmute means you can change it in form, nature, or substance. Basically you transform it. You guys get that reference? Emotions transform. I'm a huge Transformers geek, so I apologize for that. All right, let's see. And also too, along with those 3 ways to, what did I call them? 3 ways to deal with emotions. You need to understand that it is very important, thank you, Miss Donna, for you to look at the causes of a particular emotion so that you can figure a way out. It's kind of like when you're stuck in a traffic jam. You can sit there and hope the traffic clears up. You can have a tantrum in your car and you can go all crazy road rage on people. You can do that. Or you can grab your cell phone or tune into a local radio station and find a traffic report, maybe figure out a detour and get through it. I'm going to show you guys how to get through those negative emotions. I'm going to show you how to transform your emotions. You too can be like Optimus Prime. All right, let's see here. So the expression of the negative side of an emotion is usually painful. Consequently, we develop defenses to protect ourselves. I don't know about you, but I definitely do that. One of the most common defenses is to ignore, repress, or stuff our negative emotions. Okay, guys, stuff a turkey, not your emotions. Capiche? Can you see what that says there? Is it just me, or does this platter need some sort of vegetable or something there? I thought it needed like a carrot or something. But anyway, so stuff the turkey, not your emotions. Work with me, people. Don't stuff them. Here's what happens when you stuff negative emotions. Are you ready? They're held in the body, and they eventually produce physical and emotional pain. In other words, you end up with a degenerative condition, like, for example, cancer. I don't know about you, cancer doesn't work for me. I don't want it, and I'm pretty sure you don't want it. So people, stop stuffing those emotions. Pain is usually what causes us to seek a better way of handling situations. It's supposed to make you want to take action. Unfortunately, and then figure out what's causing that. But unfortunately, what I've noticed and I've done this myself, and there are still areas that I need improvement on. I still do it. But unfortunately, what we do is we camp out in that area. We camp out in the pain. We camp out in the sadness. We camp out in the discomfort. We camp out in the feeling less than we were created to feel. And our body's like screaming to be heard, and we're just stuffing, and just ignoring it. It's like, oh, just go ahead and feel miserable. That's what I'm supposed to do. It's my lot in life. Someone's got to do it. It might as well be me. Whatever. Biggest, hugest, lamest excuse to just stay in a state of pitifulness, if I ever heard one. Pain is usually induced through trauma, either physical or emotional. The trauma then initiates an emotional pattern which causes the following to occur. All right, guys, now here is where it gets cool. Do you like my cool cucumber? I had so much fun prepping for this class. I'm not even kidding. All right. Take notes. If you need me to repeat this, let me know. The emotional energy that gets generated during trauma enters the body, and if it's not released, it gets stored in an organ or gland with the same vibrational energy. For example, anger is stored in the liver. Interestingly enough, resistance to change is stored in the rectum, which I find both entertaining and hilarious. So if you're constipated, maybe you're a little resistant to change. Something to think about. All right, the memory of trauma gets stored in the limbic system of the brain, which is the seat of emotions. It's the only section of the brain that is affected by one of the five senses, and that's smell. That's it. It's the only way that that area is affected is by smell, nothing else. Okay, our minds create a belief and then attach it to an emotional memory stored in the limbic system of the brain. Okay. The primary structures within the limbic system include and the reason I'm sharing these with you is because Patty's going to go over these in greater detail on Thursday, but I want to at least just kind of drop a knowledge bomb on you so that when she starts talking about them, you're like, what are those? You don't get like all freaked out. You're like, I remember those. Christine chatted about those. Okay, so the primary structures within the limbic system include the amygdala, the hippocampus, the thalamus, the hypothalamus, the basal ganglia. Doesn't it feel like you should have like some sort of like, I don't know, like, I don't even know what I was saying, but I feel like dancing. I feel like I should have maracas or something. All right, and the cingulate gyrus. All right, the amygdala is the emotional center of the brain, while the hippocampus plays an essential role in the formation of new memories about past experiences as well. Such as, let's say you remember being in a car accident, and each time you recall that memory, you make it a bigger deal than it really is. So by the way, diffuse bergamot for that. The hippocampus is like long-term storage for daily memories and experiences. Okay, here's my favorite part. The emotional response to trauma gets stored in the cellular memory throughout the body and becomes automatic. This happens because the amygdala acts as a librarian and catalogs all emotional memory books and then assigns a location on the shelves of your bodily template to hold that information for future reference. Let me repeat that. It stores the emotion in your body for future reference. Let that sink in for a second. How many of you here have seen the movie Inside Out? The movie about the emotions and the personalities of a little girl. Two of the main characters, Joy and Sadness, they accidentally fall out of headquarters where they are like in charge of the little girl's emotions and helping her with her personality and remembering things and so on and so forth. And they're trying to get back. And each time this little girl, Riley, has a memory, headquarters, she has a memory. A memory is made. It's like a crystal ball, and depending on if it's a happy memory, a fearful memory, a sad memory, a memory that was surrounded with disgust or anger, it'll have a certain color. And all the ones in Joy are kind of a bright, glowy yellow. And when Joy and Sadness somehow get sucked out of headquarters and they're roaming around poor Riley's, the rest of her brain, trying to get back to headquarters, you can see row upon row, shelf upon shelf of all these stored memories. Okay, they're not leaving your body unless you tell them to leave. So every experience, good or bad, is stored somewhere in your body. And it's going to be stored in an area that has a similar or same frequency as the emotion and or trauma that you experienced, such as anger, which is stored in the liver, or the resistance to change, which is stored in your tucker. I had a kick out of that. Like, of all the things I could have found from the book, that's the one that I pointed on. All right, so any questions so far? You guys with me? Your heads haven't exploded yet? Serve the eviction notice, ladies. Amen. That's right. Okay, so what basically all this means, the stuff that I just explained to you, is that anything that bothers you carries an emotional charge. So as your awareness grows, you have more resources to handle situations differently. You can learn from your past experiences, basically. If you choose to ignore and suppress, remember what I said, stuff the turkey, not your emotions. Or peppers. You can stuff peppers. I'm totally fine with that. Totally stuff peppers. You know, peppers or turkeys. Turkey was just more fun to draw. So if you stuff and ignore those feelings, the problems are going to magnify each time it presents itself. Remember just a few seconds ago when I said that each time you remember a memory, a trauma, or an emotion, it's like your brain makes it out worse than it actually really was. That's what's going to happen. Each time your body uses the card catalog to bring that situation up, it's going to just magnify it into something that it never really was, which just makes it even harder to get rid of it unless you tackle it. Now, I totally understand that the thought of releasing emotions, especially bad ones, are scary. And so I'm going to share a personal story with you guys that not a lot of people know about me. And this is going on YouTube, so I'm sure I'll be getting phone calls from family. Several years ago when John and I lived in Maryland, while he was still in active duty Air Force before he retired, I had a boss who tried to rape me. And thankfully, I worked in retail and I had a store that was joined with another store. And we had two doorways in the interior of our stores where there were no like gates closed up at night. So just the gates went over the front part of our stores. And we usually met once a week to go to one of the places in the food court made like the most amazing pancakes ever. This guy did it just for the early shift people that were opening their stores. He made pancakes for all those people. So once a week we went and had pancakes. Had she not arrived early, because my boss knew this, had she not arrived early to tell me if I wanted to go to breakfast earlier, my boss would have been able to get away with what he was trying to do. Now, long story short is I took that to human resources and took that to my boss's boss, and my boss's boss's boss come to find out that he had apparently tried to do that to several of his store managers, and he and his boss lost their jobs. I thought that there was about a week where I don't remember much other than pretty much sitting in the fetal position on the couch and just being completely numb, like almost no emotion whatsoever, inability to really feel or process anything. To make matters worse, my boss was almost the spitting image of my husband. Not even kidding. So I couldn't even look at my husband. And shortly after that, my husband decided it was probably time for us to think about moving back home, which was Minnesota. And the company was worried that I was going to be litigious, and so they offered me a promotion at an even bigger store up in the Twin Cities. And when we moved back, we arrived a couple weeks prior to when I was supposed to start. And so I decided I was just going to walk into the store as a customer. Okay. They didn't know me. They hadn't met me. I mean, they knew they were going to have a new manager taking over, but I thought I would just kind of get a feel for what these people were like, because prior to that job and then the job I had in Maryland, my job was to go into stores that were failing, and I had approximately 90 to 120 days to turn that store around, or the company was going to close that particular location. I was very good at what I did. So I wanted to go in and kind of do a little reconnaissance work. And I got to the outside of the store, and I took a step in and I walked to the closest rack, and all of a sudden it just hit me. It just it hit me really hard, and I froze, and I couldn't talk, and I couldn't turn around, and I couldn't think. I just had tears streaming down my face. And the reason that it hit me and it paralyzed me and it stopped me in my tracks is because I stuffed it. Because it was a horrible, painful experience. Because who wants to look at their husband and see their boss? Who wants to think, holy crap, I probably should have been able to take this guy. He really wasn't all that big, but he caught me by surprise. You know, it was, as soon as I walked into that store, because they all had a similar smell and they all had the same layout, everything came flooding back. And finally, after about 5 minutes, someone came up to me, because the cash wrap was way in the back of the store and everything was up front, and horrible layout, but that's beside the point. And asked me if I was okay, and I said, you know what? I said, I don't feel good. I'm fine. And I just turned and walked away, and I went home, and I called the company, and I said, I can't work here. I just can't work here. I can't do it. And so I found a different job. This is why you don't want to stuff things, because what's going to happen eventually is something's going to trigger that, and you're going to have a meltdown. Wouldn't you rather, in the safety of your home, with either a loved one or yourself, in a time and in a place that you choose, with oils and affirmations, work at releasing that emotion? I know that had I known about this back then, you can darn well bet that I would have been applying essential oils to the points of my body where they needed to be applied, and I would have been saying anything I needed to say to retrain my brain, to improve my thoughts about it, to rewire my brain, to rewire my cells, to pull that book off the shelf that was located in various parts of my body and get rid of them. You're going out of the library. We're done with them. And so that's one of the reasons, exactly. And that's the only book you're allowed to burn too. So that's one of the reasons why the body never lies, guys. The body holds on to those emotional patterns, whether you're conscious of it or not. And since the body doesn't lie, any malfunction is a good indicator of unresolved emotional issues. And I malfunctioned within seconds of walking into that store. And that there is a good example of blocked energy. Excuse me, my voice cracked. I'm in puberty right now, apparently. So of a blocked energy and an indicator that there's some buried emotional issues, okay? I didn't release them. You'd be happy to know that since then I've been able to release those emotions. And although I do get emotional still when I talk about it, it's not remembered as the super scary, holy crap situation that it used to be remembered upon. I can actually use it in situations to help other people. Okay? So you can still get emotional about something, but the emotion is released. I now look at this situation in a much, much different light. Okay, so I want to just repeat something. Oftentimes, the first indication of a problem is pain, whether it's physical, emotional, or both. That's right. If you have pain, it's seated in an emotion. I'm not saying it's in your head. That's completely different. I'll use another example. Mary Alexander came to town to do a class back in February, and she has this really awesome, it's like the queen of Zytos. It's like the king of Zytos, and it's way more awesome than my little peasant Zyto. And then she did some muscle testing on me and basically discovered that my hormonal issues they're seated in an emotion. Well, I never told her this, but privately I was like, well, it's not in my head. Because like emotions are in your head. So I was actually offended. It's like, I've been dealing with these for like 12 years. What do you mean that this is all emotional? This isn't in my head. And then so I asked her to clarify. I said, well, does that mean that those hormone differences or those hormone deficiencies aren't real? And she's like, no, they're totally real. You're experiencing them, but they're seated in an emotion. So I'm not saying it's in your head. I'm saying it's seated in an emotion, and it needs to be dealt with. If you have a dysfunction in your body, chances are it's seated in an emotion or a result of an emotional response to a trauma, okay? Many physical problems have an emotional component, especially if they're chronic. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have an occasional out-of-the-blue headache or a very rarely occurring chest cold that it's emotional based. Now, obviously it can be, but that's not what that means. But if you suffer from dis-ease and in physical and or emotional symptoms on a regular basis, that's considered chronic, and you could benefit from emotional release with essential oils. So if you're dealing with something that is chronic, it is constant, or it is frequent, over and over again, over and over again, you're always getting this, or you're always feeling that, or you're always catching this, or you always experience this type of discomfort, or you always have this type of discomfort in this area of your body, that is your body screaming at you, telling you it's got emotions in areas that don't want to be there. They want to come out. Okay? Yep. And same thing. I still have some to work through. Nobody's perfect. It takes time. Sometimes some of the emotions they're kind of exhausting, and so you take a little bit of time to work through it and stuff, but you do, and then mind blown. This one's for you, Miss Patty. Okay. So let's see here. Let's look at my cards real quick here. I wanted to go back because I want you guys to look this guy up, or at least just write him down and look him up after the class. Norman Cousins, Center for Psychoneuroimmunology. Okay? Say that 10 times fast. So write this down. Norman Cousins, Center for Psychoneuroimmunology. For those of you that see words like this and want to cry, I've got phonics for you. I've spelled it out so you can be smart. But seriously, look this guy up, okay? Basically, what his team does is they investigate the interactions between the brain and the body, the role of psychological well-being for health and recovery from illness, and the translation of such knowledge into effective behavioral strategies that prevent disease, promote healing, and enhance well-being across the lifespan. In other words, releasing emotions. All right, we are on the home stretch, and this is where we're gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna share with you guys. And because I like to sort of make fun of myself, I'm gonna play a little spa music because we're gonna be working on our emotions. All right, let me know if you can't hear me over that. Sorry, that was cold. Okay, we're gonna learn to release emotions next. So when you internalize emotions, you can end up with degenerative conditions like cancer, which I've already said. And we've already talked about how internalizing emotions is not the best option. It's a very easy option, but it's not a good one. Okay? That is why I want you to check out Norman Cousins, because he's done amazing research on this, and I think you guys are going to find the information incredibly, mind-blowing. I'm not allowed to dig into abnormal cell growth, but I am allowed to say that feelings buried alive never die. And if they never die, they're doing something to your body and your mind, and it's not going to be good. So please look into Norman Cousins, and also look into Dr. Caroline Leaf, L-E-A-F, like the tree leaf. Okay? All right, so in order to find total balance of your body and mind, it's important to understand the keys of well-being that God intended for us. Are you ready for these keys, guys? All right, a chemical-free home, or at least trying to get as chemical-free as you possibly can. I can talk, really, I can. All right, eating real unprocessed foods, lots of veggies, limited modern wheat, limited dairy, and definitely limited sugar. Emotional health, releasing those negative emotions. Healthy thought life, affirmation, doing devotions, maybe plugging into a church or some type of spiritual center that's helping you with a healthy thought life. Exercise, I know I don't like exercise either, so I just run up and down the stairs 30 times a day and call it exercise. And then essential oils and other plant-based health modalities. Okay, so those are kind of the keys, and you really can't have optimal well-being that God intended for you if you're only doing some of these. It's just not possible. It's like your puzzle will be missing a couple of pieces. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to release an emotion. Once we've finished, I'm going to ask you guys to share an emotion with me, and then we'll see what the book has to say about it. I thought that would be kind of fun. So I'll do one emotion, and of course I forgot my darn essential oil. Do I even have, hold on. We'll just pretend that this is the oil I need. Okay, so I thought it would be fun. I thought I would show you guys how to release one, and then you guys can give me an emotion and we'll look it up in this book, right? And if you guys have an opportunity, order this book. I don't know if you can see like all the tabs that I have on here. I've got emotions, and then there's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's 7 charts for you to look at to find various points of where to apply the oils and things like that. And this is just, if you're serious about healing yourself emotionally and healing yourself from trauma and things like that, this is a book that you definitely need to have on hand, so that's something that you can work on, you know, a little bit at a time, because, you know, this is definitely a marathon. It's not a sprint. Yes, I definitely can. It's Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils by Dr. Carolyn L. Mean, Doctor of Chiropractic. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with anger, because that's the example that Dr. Carolyn uses. I watched a video. Okay. And the negative emotion is anger. Okay. And it's stored in the liver. Really miss my calling as an artist, don't you think? Okay. And the positive side is laughter, and the oil for that is purification. You're very welcome. Okay, so I'll let you guys write that down. All right, guys? Okay, now just a reminder, there's 3 ways to deal with emotions. You can express them, you can stuff them, or you can transmute it, you can transform them, you can change it into a positive, and that's what we're gonna do. So anger obviously is a negative emotion. When you have an explosion of negative energy, you have anger, right? To figure out the positive side or the other side of anger requires a little bit of thought. If an explosion of negative energy is anger, then explosion of positive energy is laughter. So the other or positive side of anger is laughter, okay? I didn't know that. Did you know that? Did anybody out there know that? Give me a hand, give me a heart, give me a, I knew it. So I had no idea. It's like, where's my mind blown? Mind blown. Mind blown. All right. So we know from Chinese medicine that anger is stored in the liver, which, by the way, starts right about under the right side of your bazooms, and then goes down this way. It still goes down that way. Okay. All right, let's see here. It's stored there because it has a similar vibration as anger. Remember when I said that whatever emotion you're experiencing, your amygdala is like a cute little librarian, and she's got a little card catalog, and she's like, I'm going to look up where I should store that. And then they stuff it in the body part that has the same or similar vibration, okay? Which is kind of neat when you think about it. I mean, it's sad that it has to do that, but it has to go somewhere. But it's just amazing what our bodies can do. It's just mind-blowing. All right, so acupressure alarm points are what acupuncturists use to release blocked energy. Blocked energy results in physical and or emotional pain and dis-ease. And, you know, here's a fun little tidbit. Did you guys know that Egyptians used essential oils to clear emotional patterns? And then they did their like fancy little hieroglyphics on stone walls and stuff like that. I did not know that, but apparently it's true because I learned it on the internet, and the internet doesn't lie. Right? I know, right? I was like, what? I even tried to look up some hieroglyphics so that I was going to make a fun little card with, but I couldn't find one. So, all right. Okay, so the process to releasing negative emotions are identifying the emotion, obviously. Identifying the positive side of the emotion, which if you have this book, you aren't going to have to try and figure it out because it'll tell you. And then you're going to apply oil to the acupuncture alarm points, not parts, sorry. And you're going to smell the oil, and then you're going to say an affirmation, okay? And Patty, I don't remember, you get into affirmations, right? You've got all sorts of affirmations when you talk about the oils in your class on Thursday, right? Yes. Okay, perfect. All right. So we're going to use essential oils to help release emotions because the oils activate the sense of smell that accesses the limbic system of the brain. Okay? That's the only section of the brain that can be accessed by smell. Well, the smell is the only thing that will activate it, rather. When you combine the elements of finding the negative emotion, the positive emotion, and the affirmation, which is basically you're asking yourself, what do I need to learn from this situation or emotion? And then just being truthful with yourself, being honest, being brutally honest with yourself, understanding why you created that, and then finding the acupressure alarm point so that you can release the emotion on a very deep cellular level so you can change the emotion and the cellular structure in the body. You have the ability with your thoughts to change the cellular structure in your body. You guys have power. You're like little walking superheroes and you don't even know it. Okay? All right. Before I get into the next steps, I really want to challenge you guys to do a little bit of research on, we do need capes. I so want a cape. To look up sesquiterpenes, monoterpenes, and phenols. Okay? These three components of essential oils stimulate and support the systems and parts of our brain that we want to ensure are properly functioning at all times to keep our bodies running like the well-oiled machine it was created to be. And yes, that is Ula. And here's why I want you guys to know about these, okay? Phenols and phenylpropanoids can act to cleanse receptor sites on the surface of a cell. You guys, your mouths should be hanging open like a teenage boy the first time he sees a girl. Seriously. Sesquiterpenes delete bad information from cellular memory. Monoterpenes restore or awaken the correct information in the cell's memory, the DNA of the cell. This is why you need the oils to help release. It's a package deal. It's the affirmation. It's recognizing the negative emotion. It's accepting it. It's then learning what the opposite or the other side or the positive side of that emotion is. It's inhaling the oil. It's smelling the oil. It's applying it to energy pathways along your body, and then it's releasing it. Yes, amen. Chemical constituents. All right, so let's release some anger. Are you ready? I have to get angry. I don't get angry much unless I'm in the car, and I'm not doing this Periscope from the car. All right, so when it's time, you're going to apply 1 to 2 drops of purification to your non-dominant hand. I have a Hulk. He's over there. All right, you're going to apply purification, and this is frankincense, and I don't want to waste it on this, so I'm going to pretend. So 1 to 2 drops, 1, 2 in your non-dominant hand, which for me is my left hand. And then you are going to rotate clockwise 3 times. Okay, this activates the oil. Someone on a much higher pay grade than I discovered this. I'm not quite exactly sure who, but it's always clockwise. So don't tell me I'm crazy. We've already established that I'm slightly crazy, but if this is what they tell you to do, then just do it. Okay? All right. You're going to apply the oil to the alarm points of the body. Okay? You can also go to the alarm points on the hand and the forehead. Now, interestingly enough, the main alarm point for anger is the nipples. It's the nipples. And that's not really something that you can do in public because you'll probably get looked at strangely, or small children and women will run crying and screaming from you, and you may end up with some sort of criminal record. So that you don't sit there touching the bazooms in public, this part right here on the pinky is where your liver is, okay? So on either side, okay? Not every single thing is on both sides, but this one is. So you would apply the oil right here on this, okay? That's where your liver is. You could also on the forehead, basically just straight up from your pupils, okay? That's the forehead alarm point, okay? And then you would smell, cup the oil over your mouth and nose and inhale, and then connect with the negative emotion, connect with all the times that you have felt that emotion, and allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel that anger. Be angry in that moment, okay? The more you can feel the emotion, the deeper you can clear it and release it. So be brave. Like when I was releasing the emotion of that traumatic event that happened with my boss when he tried to rape me, I had to be brave. Do you think I wanted to go back to that day and relive that? Heck no. Heck to the no, I didn't want to do that. Do you think I wanted to sit in that and feel that and feel it in my body? No, but I wanted to release it more than I didn't want to feel it. And so I strapped on the big girl panties and I strapped on my Be Brave cape and I just did it. I did it. And healing took place. And I'm forever grateful for that healing. Okay, breathe in that emotion and now let it go. Okay, releasing anger from the various different cells. Breathe in and connect with any residual feelings of anger. Breathe out and let it go. Visualize the anger leaving your body. However it is you need to visualize that. If it needs to look like, the word anger flying out of different parts of your body, out of your breath or whatever, angry little red faces, however you need to visualize it, visualize it. Visualizing will help with you feel and releasing, getting it out of your body, okay? Next, you're going to connect with the positive side of the emotion, all right? And that would be laughter, okay? Remember, laughter. Okay, so breathe in laughter and feel how that feels. Connect with laughter, all right? If you don't feel like laughing, think about laughter and a time when you were laughing, all right? At least just think about laughter and or a time when you remember laughing, because you may not necessarily feel like laughing in that moment. But as you work on this, they'll get to a point where you actually can think of laughing, all right? This is laughter. Breathe in laughter and let it go. Breathe in laughter and let it fill you up and integrate all the places where the anger was. Again, visualize. Visualize all that anger in the liver gone, and then visualize the laughter down in there. Okay, that's what a good belly laugh is for. And the way you move from anger to laughter is by saying, my direction is clear. Okay, so that's the affirmation. Anger to laughter, my direction is clear. If you want to write that down, if any of you out there have some anger, deep-seated anger that you want to let go of, my direction is clear. Take a breath in and say again, my direction is clear. Allow yourself to connect with how that makes you feel. Seriously, just be in that moment and take note of how you feel when you say that. Let it permeate your being and repeat this affirmation three times. Now, before you guys think that I am too hocus pocusy, I would like to remind you that the Bible says, be careful how you think. Your life is shaped by your thoughts. Okay? And where your mind goes, your brain follows, and a card catalogs all those emotions and stores them in your body. So how much emotional baggage are you carrying? Seriously, folks. So I'm trying to help you retrain your brain with good thoughts. These affirmations are not a bad thing. This is something if it's important to you, there's scientific evidence behind this. If it's not important to you, there's anecdotal evidence behind this works, and this is what your body's going to use to help get rid of that. So I want to share a quote with you from Dr. Caroline Leaf, where she states, our choices, the natural consequences of our thoughts and imagination, get under the skin of our DNA and can turn certain genes on or off, changing the structure of the neurons in our brains. So our thoughts, imagination, and choices can change the structure and function of our brain on every level. Wouldn't you prefer to change your brain for the better? Wouldn't you prefer to find the other side or the positive to a negative emotion and change your brain? How much better would your life be if your brain was functioning the way God created it to function? Can you feel the goosebumps, people? Do you feel excited? Does this inspire you? Are you empowered? Do you want to change? Okay? What your mind creates, only your mind can take away. Grasp that. Whatever you create in your mind, the only thing that can take it away, not a drug, not a person, not a better house, not a worse house, not a better job, not more money, not a better car, not nothing. The only thing that can take it away is your brain. You are the only one that has the power, okay? You, again, are like a little tiny superhero. Believe in yourself and believe that you are so worth the effort that it takes to release your emotions. Okay, pep talk over. All right. Now, the typical application frequencies. So how many times are you going to be doing the whole recognizing the emotion, then the positive side of it, and then the drops and the smelling and the points and touching yourself on private areas and things like that. You're going to do that 1, 3, 7, 10, or 18 times a day. I know, right? When I read that, I'm like, who can 18 times a day? Can you imagine being at work and like every 30 minutes you've got to stop, drop, and do all that? And then you do it for 1, 3, 7, or 10 weeks. So basically, here's what it boils down to, because I realize that not everybody can do that. And so what Dr. Carolyn Mean, hi buddy, sorry, my puppy's here. What she suggests is do it until that emotion no longer is a trigger, or until what would normally trigger that emotion no longer is a trigger. Patty says hi. He said hi. Let's see if you can see him. I don't know. There's Honor. Say hi, Honor. Okay, put it back there. So you're going to do that until what would normally trigger that emotion doesn't solicit the negative emotion. So for example, me telling you my story about what my boss did to me, I might get a little emotional and teary-eyed when I'm telling you about it, but it no longer solicits anything negative in me. Nothing whatsoever. Basically, you're choosing laughter, not anger. If you can do that, you've thoroughly released the emotion, and then you can go on to the next one. Different emotions may need to be treated, or may be treated rather, one following another. So when different oils are required, they may be layered, meaning one oil is applied directly on top of or following another, and basically 15 minutes apart. If you find that you're not able to use the oils as frequently as desired, or need to take some time off to process the emotions, you can extend the length of time that the oils are applied. Obviously, common sense comes to play in this. I'm not going to give us a 101 class right here, but for hot or sensitizing oils, please just dilute them. Read the label on the bottle or the pocket reference to learn which oils should be diluted. Or if you're sensitive, just dilute the oils. It's not going to change how the oil works. And another point to remember, if you do at least one release session before bed, your subconscious will do a lot of the processing. Okay, so just a little tip right there. All right, do you guys want me to go over, without the side notes and the ad-libs and stuff, one more time how to release from beginning to end? Just say yes or hearts or something. Otherwise, I'm going to move on. I got a couple pages left, and then we're going to dig into what emotions you guys want to. All right, I'll do it, and I'm just going to do it kind of quickly, okay? So... let's see here. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to apply 1 to 2 drops of the oil to your non-dominant hand. You're going to rotate the oil clockwise 3 times. You're going to apply the oil to the alarm points, right here and right here. Okay, and if you're at home and you feel like it, apply it there, because that's where the alarm points are. They're on the nipples. That's where the alarm points for anger are, the acupressure points. All right, let's see here. And then you're going to smell the oil, cup it over your hands and mouth, and inhale. Then you're going to connect with the negative emotion, connect with all the times that you felt that emotion, allow yourself to feel that emotion. The more that you can feel it, the deeper that you can, the deeper that you'll be able to clear it and release it. So be brave, okay? Be raw with yourself. Then breathe in that emotion and then let it go. Release that emotion from the various different cells. Breathe in and connect with any residual feelings of that emotion, and then breathe it out and let it go. Visualize that emotion leaving your body. Next, connect with the positive side of that emotion. Take a breath in and feel that emotion. Breathe in that emotion and be aware of how that makes you feel. Connect with how that makes you feel. Connect with that positive emotion. If you don't feel like doing what that positive emotion is, for example, laughter, then just think about it, or think about a time when you were doing that emotion or when you experienced that emotion, okay? Breathe it in and let it go. Breathe in that emotion and let it fill you up and integrate to all the places where the anger was, and then say the affirmation, which is for anger, for example, my direction is clear. Take a deep breath in and say it again. My direction is clear. Allow yourself to connect with how that makes you feel and let it permeate your being. And then repeat that affirmation 3 times. Breathe in. My direction is clear. Breathe in. My direction is clear. Okay? All right, so let's see here. Okay, so who is brave enough to give me an emotion that they would like to learn how to release? I'd love to have several examples, so hit me with your best shot, and we'll do this together. We've got a little bit of time. I would love to, if you want to know about an emotion, and even if you, depression. All right, let's look that one up. Depression. Stress and sorrow. Let me write these down. Depression, stress, sorrow, stress. Okay, let's start with depression. Okay, so depression, the other side or the positive emotion, fear, impatience. Fear, impatience. All right, I think we've got enough. Okay, so we're going to start with depression. So the other side or the positive emotion to depression is alive. Because in all honesty, when you're depressed, you kind of don't really feel alive, do you? You just kind of feel like a shell, like you're just existing. You're a shell of a person. You're not alive. The way out, the way through that, the affirmation is I am glad I am alive. Okay? I am glad I am alive. The oil for that is peace and calming. Okay? The alarm point is called a depression alarm point, and that is, let me grab that for you guys, B and F. Let's see here, depression. Okay, so right behind, I'm going to just show you like what I'm looking at. So depression is, see like that part of your ear, just go right back and it's on the part of your head. Let me put a pen there and I'll move my hair so you guys can see. So right there, okay? So that's where you're gonna put the oil, right there. And then it also had one other chart. Let me look at this other chart and see what else it's got, if it has anything different. All right, and then it's gonna go down a little bit on the neck, just right below the base. I don't know if you can see because of my hair. So right there. So right there and right there. Okay, so those are your 2 points. So then what you would do is you would feel that depression, recognize that depression, okay? You would breathe in, recognize that depression. You would put the peace and calming right here, non-dominant hand 3 times, okay? Smell it, put it right here on both sides, put it down a little bit lower. Feel that depression and then release it. Just let it go. Breathe in, breathe out, let it go. I am glad I am alive. Okay? And then you're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe out all the depression. Then the other side of it, you're going to breathe in the feeling of alive. Remember a time when you felt alive. There has to be one. Dig deep if you have to, even if you only felt mostly alive. It's a start. Take that, run with it, okay? And then breathe in that feeling, okay? Allow yourself to feel how that makes you feel when you breathe that in. Let it permeate all the areas where the depression was sitting, okay? And then say, I am glad I am alive. I am glad I am alive. Okay, let's see here. All right, so we did depression. Let me do stress, because stress is a big one. I'll do stress next. Okay, stress. Do you guys want physical stress or emotional stress? Yes. Okay, well, physical stress, I'll do both. Okay, so the other side or the positive side to physical stress is harmony. And the positive or other side to to physical stress is fun. The positive emotion to physical stress is fun. The positive emotion to emotional stress is harmony. The way out, the affirmation for physical stress is life is fun. The way out, or the affirmation for emotional stress, is I understand. How deep is that? The oil for physical stress is Eucalyptus radiata. The oil for emotional stress is clarity. The alarm point for physical stress is called pleura. And I is not a doctor, so I don't know where that is, but I'm gonna find it for you. Oh, it's right above the armpit. So like my armpit starts here, so it's right above. So both sides right there, okay? So that's where you hold physical stress. Makes sense to me, because most of us feel it on the other side in our shoulders, right? And then, oops, I lost my, hold on guys, sorry. All right, and then, okay, the alarm point for emotional stress is the brain integration point. And that one, I am actually familiar with, is, okay, so on the back of your head, you know how you have that ledge that's called the occipital bone? About an inch up from that is the brain integration point. So make sure I don't run over my dog, so I'll turn around. So the brain integration point is right here, okay? So that's where you're going to put that. And then it probably wouldn't hurt to also put it on the emotional points right here. And then if you're the type of person that deals with everybody else's emotions, like you absorb other people's emotions, you can also, there's like a, what do they call it? Hold on here. I wrote it down and I skipped right over it and I can't remember. But it's a release point, and it's right here on those, like those two bones that are right there in the back of your head. You can put oils there. So like white angelica will be really good for that. Like I absorb other people's emotions and take them on, and then I find myself feeling burnt out and drained and exhausted, and because I have such a heart to help people, and I truly love and care for people on a very, very deep level, and so it's very easy for me to suck it all in. I'm like a vacuum cleaner, and so use those points for that. Okay, so let's move along here. For sorrow, let's see if they have sorrow. If not, I'm going to go to grief. Sorrow, that's a sad one. So sad. Sorrow. Okay, so sorrow, the positive emotion or the other side of sorrow is peace. Yes, 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 yes. ENFJ is right. The way out, your affirmation is going to be, I am in balance. I am in balance. The oil for sorrow is acceptance, the blend acceptance. The alarm point is the bronchial alarm point, and that is, obviously it's right here, but I want to make sure that I get it right. It's supposed to be, where are you? Okay, bronchial is on either side, like right there. So if this is your clavicle, about, what's that, 6 inches, 5 inches? So right there is where your bronchial points are. And there's one on either side. Okay, so that's where you would apply the oil. And then let's do fear real quickly. Don't check out yet, guys. I got a little toodaloo before I let y'all go. Fear, 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 fear. They actually do have the emotion FU in this book. So if you're someone that feels FU a lot, definitely use frankincense for that. I'll let you get the book to find out how to do that, Patty. Okay, fear. Sorry, back to fear. Okay, fear. So the other side, or the positive emotion to fear, is awareness or faith. Basically, face it. You face it. You're aware of it and you have faith, okay? The way out, or the positive affirmation, is I am aligned. I am aligned. The oil is the blend inspiration. And the alarm point is called the life force. And let me show you guys where that is. The life, all right, the life force is on your L3. So that's your lower back. Google L3, because I'm not going to stand up and turn around and show you my fanny, because it's sexy. And this isn't a periscope about sexy fannies. It's a periscope about emotions. So Google L3. Okay, that's where your life force is. All right. And last but not least, impatience. Impatience. Incompetent. Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. All right, so for the emotion, the negative emotion is impatience, all right? And the other side of that emotion is adaptability. And the way out, or the affirmation for that, is I am flexible. I am flexible. The oil for that is Melrose. And the alarm point is the immune alarm point, which is right here, guys. Okay, right there. So there's a lot of stuff like right in this area right here. It's just, this book is just, these charts are like, they're so cool. Seriously, get the book. I don't even remember how much it is, but who cares? Eat soup for a week. But I mean, there's like feet, there's hands, there's ears, there's torso, there's brain, there's, this book covers chakras. I mean, my class was based on the first 15 pages of this book. Not even kidding. I mean, we could go bonkers on the rest of this. All right, so, oh, cool, that's a really good price. Yeah, so you don't have to eat soup for a week, just maybe for a day. It's a really awesome book, I'm telling you what. So, guys, I want to thank you so much. Oh, and Kate's got this book if anybody of her Buffalo peeps wanna borrow it. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this class. And this Thursday on Facebook, Miss Patty Cake, I know you probably hate it when I call you that, but I don't care, I'm calling it to you anyway. Miss Patty Cake is going to take this information a step further. She's going to discuss an array of emotional essential oil blends. Okay, her class dives deeper into the limbic system of the brain. It's my term of endearment for you, Miss Patty. And she's going to give detailed information on several essential oils used for emotional health, the affirmations to use, where and how to apply, and she's even going to touch on the chakras, which is a whole other class in and of itself. In fact, Patty and I are going to do a class on chakras, and I think we hope to have this done by early June, so keep your eyes open for that. You guys are so welcome. If this class was helpful, and if you guys found some value and you want to know more about essential oils, please reach out to the person that invited you after this class, okay? I love feedback, so you are so welcome. So if there is anything that could be done to make this class even better, like obviously me memorizing it so you don't have to keep seeing my eyelids looking down, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You are aligned. That's right. Thanks again, everybody. This was really fun. I hope you had fun. I really enjoyed putting this class together. I mean, after the week solid of stressing out and freaking out and pulling out my hair and stuff like that and people talking me off a ledge. Thank you, Miss Patty. But seriously, hopefully you found this helpful. And what I'll do is I will type up, even though most of you are going to get this book, what I'll do is I will type up the steps of releasing and make it available to anybody that wants it. Send me a private message on Facebook letting me know that you want it, and I'll send it off to you. And you guys have a fabulous night. And oh, if my phone recorded this properly, I will be transferring it to YouTube. So keep your fingers crossed, and I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic night. I'm glad you liked it, Sylvia. You guys take care. I'll talk to you later. Whoops. Bye, sweeties.